Hi everyone, I'm here a little bit early. I just need to work out how to I need to log out of Facebook. So just give me a sec while I do that because I keep getting messages. So just give me a sec. Probably no one else is there yet anyway. I assume I can log out and it'll still work. Let me see how that works. Hopefully. I'm figuring if I turn my volume down, that won't work either. So that's where I'm going there. Hopefully. All right. If anyone can see me. Oh, good. Lovely. Hello, Annette. Thank you for letting me know that I'm there because I wasn't quite sure. This is my first. Hi, Rose. This is my first time trying to manage this software. So I am hoping it works out all right. So definitely please give me some feedback on the video quality. On my screen, it looks like I'm a little bit slow and, that sort of robotic kind of movement. Not sure if you guys have seen that. If you are, sorry, I'll try and fix that by next week. So hopefully I'll just give everyone else a couple of minutes. For those of you that are already here, hopefully you have a drink of water, which I do too, and a pen and paper just so you can jot down some things for yourselves, some things that crop up for yourselves. So, oh, good. Thanks, Annette. Lovely. I'm glad it's working. So I'm not too fuzzy. So though fuzzy might be better. Yeah, hoping that, you can hear me well and the visual's good. So, but we'll see. And like I said, we'll soldier through this one and then work on it for next week as well. So definitely you guys drink of water and a pen and paper, and then we will get started. So I'm not sure if you guys can hear, my dogs are actually barking in the background. So hopefully they will all settle down in a sec. Welcome, Jody. Welcome, Margaret. Lovely to see both, or all of you here now that are here. Really appreciate you popping online, and we'll see how we go. All right. So basically, this is my first session. So I'm really excited and I'm really happy that, hi, Sarah, to give this a go. What I think I'll do is unless you've got something specific you want to ask, then definitely, pop it in the comments. And if it's we've got time, I'll answer the question. Otherwise, I'll pop back in later and, sort of answer your questions, or send me a message and I'll answer that as well. Hi, Robin. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Robin. Haven't seen you for ages. So, all right. So for those that have just joined, definitely please glass of water and a pen and paper. Wanted a lot of tapping circles, particularly online. It's really hard to get feedback from you guys as we go. So if you've got a pen and paper and something comes into your head, like, a word or a phrase that really means something to you, jot it down and you can work on it yourself later, or you can give me a call, or, another, just to mention as well, I, really love you guys to send me a message. Let me know what topics you'd like to cover. Probably, I'm here for the next 3 months for sure. So definitely anything like confidence, anxiety, trauma, performance issues, either like at work or, sporting. We can do dentist phobias. Sorry, I just went to the dentist today and I have a slight dentist phobia. So we can do some phobia kind of, stressful situations work. So, definitely send me a message. More than happy to go with suggestions and work from that. Okay, basically I sort of spent the last few days trying to work out what we could cover. And as I said, this is my first session. So I was a little bit nervous, or I'm still a little bit nervous, but not too bad. And because I obviously do tapping, tapped on it a bit myself. And that's when I thought, let's just tap on not being good enough. Because there's all times when we don't feel good enough, we don't feel able. So basically I chatted to myself, had did some tapping, and here I am. So for those, again, who've just joined, pen and paper and a drink. And let me introduce myself. I'm Denise McMaster. I live in Tasmania, Australia. I'm not sure where all of you are from, but I'm assuming from all over the place. So I'm a life coach and emotional freedom technique, aka tapping practitioner. I generally work one-on-one, so this is my first group session. I also have started running some happiness, confidence and resilience workshops, which actually my first one is this weekend. So really looking forward to those because I love doing stuff on confidence and happiness and just sort of seeing that look on people's faces when they suddenly think, oh my God, I can do this. Basically, I got into EFT. It was mentioned to me by 2 or 3 people over a couple of years. A couple of years ago, I got divorced and it was a little bit messy and nasty, like I guess it is. And it cropped up a couple of times from a couple of people, one being my great friend Karen, and then the other one, ironically, was my horse vet. So after hearing about it a few times, I gave a go with some online stuff and kind of thought, oh, this is really great. Did some free courses through the Australian Tapping Institute and my lovely mentor, Lorna. And they just resonated with me. And almost immediately doing the free stuff, I felt much better. So I thought, I really want to do this stuff. I really want to do it well. I really want to know more about it. So I signed up for the course. So here I am, down the track, a practitioner. I work one-on-one, primarily online, just because I live in a fairly isolated area. So, yeah, it's just the way it is. So, yeah, feel free to contact me for some sessions. Remembering that tapping in a circle is quite generic, which is why I want you to have a pen and paper so that you can jot down those phrases that pop into your own head. If you were working one-on-one, you would get quite deep into, your specifics and your, issues and problems. But here it's quite difficult to do that because obviously everyone remembers things a bit differently and their lives are a bit different, though we all have a lot of common problems. So as I said, please jump in. If you have any comments, I'll try and answer them on the way through. If it's going to interrupt the flow, then I will get back to you when I can. So, okay, I'm assuming that a lot of you already know what tapping is. If you don't, tapping is I suppose it's seen as, an alternative therapy. It's used a lot. I have heard that the American Army are starting to use it for PTSD and actually teaching their troops, the frontline troops, some tapping so that they can use it themselves to help reduce their own stress levels, which is actually brilliant. So basically you're tapping on some meridians. We'll go through those in a minute, and you're saying words. If you don't feel like you can say it out loud, depending on where you are, please just say it in your head. But follow along, repeat the words after me. Sometimes they won't necessarily apply to you, but your brain's really clever and it'll find something about it that sort of resonates with you, and it'll go with that. So basically it sort of essentially interrupts that energy you have, or the thought processes you have and the habits that you've developed, your thought patterns. Interrupts them, and then we sort of rewire over the top. That's kind of a simple way of explaining it. So we use the karate chop on the side of your hand here. We use your eyebrow. I'll try and turn the glasses off, but I can't see a thing. So your eyebrow. So where your sort of eyebrow sort of straight up there. So you tap there. You can use 1, 2 fingers, whatever works for you. The side of your eye. You're kind of going to hit the right spot. So don't panic about not getting it right. There is no right. And you're going to sort of hit the right spot anyway because it's the spot that feels comfortable. Then under the eye, under the nose. We say the chin, but it's like a little dip in between your lips and your chin, that nice little dip there. Your collarbone, so again, where it just feels nice. You also use under your arm. I tend not to use under your arm. I just find it a bit awkward and it interrupts my flow. Feel free, if you're used to using under the arm, feel free to keep using that. I just ask that you stop with the top of your head, which is the last position. Right? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me just put my glasses on so I can see. So feel free, just follow along. It'll all sort of, you'll work it out. All right, so I've just got my little notes here just so I don't get lost. All right, so to start with, we're just going to feel centered and just sort of get ourselves ready to go. Just, it's the end of the day. We've all probably rushed around and done lots of stuff, and we've rushed in and sat down, and now we just need to really make sure that we're present and here. Okay, I'll just see if there's any comments before I get into it. Okay. All right, some chat amongst yourselves. Lovely. Okay. All right, so we'll tap along. Even though I don't feel grounded and present, I choose to love and accept myself. So just repeat after me, either out loud or in your head. Even though I don't feel grounded and present, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I don't feel grounded and present, I choose to love and accept myself. The other thing is you can use either hand. I'll probably swap throughout the night. Some people use two as well. So, whatever works for you, whatever feels comfortable for you, whatever you've either learned in the past or whatever just feels right. Okay. So even though I don't feel present, I love and accept myself. And big breaths. Even though I don't feel present and grounded, I love and accept myself. Okay, and then we'll just tap along with me. I feel like I haven't settled in yet. I feel like I've rushed and just got here. So I just need to feel grounded and settled. I don't feel like I'm focusing on anything. I need to be grounded and settled. So nice deep breaths as you're going. I feel like I haven't settled in. I'm thinking of all the things I need to do. Just need to let those go and feel grounded and settled. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm going to focus on what we're doing. This is going to be some me time. I'm going to work on me. I'm going to feel present. I feel present. I choose to spend time on me. I feel present. I'm here now. I'm grounded. I'm present. I choose to spend time on myself. I choose to spend time on myself. I'm grounded and present. So nice deep breath. Nice relax. So hopefully now you feel sort of settled, like you've arrived, and now you're ready to think about what we're doing. So I want you to just think about a time that you didn't feel good enough. Don't stress if nothing comes to mind. Probably something will come to mind as we get through and keep going. Did you not feel good enough? Did you not, at a time, was it like you didn't feel like you had enough knowledge to do what it was you wanted to do? Was it someone said something to you? Was it the people around you? Were you comparing yourself to others in the room? You're just not confident in your own abilities. So just have a quick couple of seconds to think about a time that you didn't feel like things were working for you. So just jot that down. Oh, hi, everyone who's popped online, and hello, Joe. Thank you for coming along and supporting me. Appreciate it. So, yeah, just jot that down. And I want you to think about, at that time, how intense did you feel about it? Like a 0 is didn't worry you at all. 10 is, it made you cry and you just felt absolutely dreadful and want to run and hide. So just sort of, write that number down, keep that in your head, see how, and we'll try to reduce that, right? So I want you to keep like not focusing, but that's the event that you're thinking about, a time that you weren't good enough. Okay, so we will get into it. As I said, if something crops up on the way through, if I say something and it triggers either a memory or a phrase that just really resonates with you, then jot it down on your bit of paper so that you can keep track of that and either work on it later or feel free to share if you'd like to share. Okay. I didn't feel good enough. Oh, even though I didn't feel good enough, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I didn't feel good enough, I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I didn't feel good enough, I choose to love and accept myself. I didn't feel good enough. I felt awful. I felt embarrassed. I didn't feel good enough. I felt awful in myself. I didn't feel good enough. It's awful when you don't feel good enough. I don't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I just felt useless. Just felt I couldn't do it. I didn't feel confident. What they said to me. What they said to me. I didn't feel good enough. People were looking at me. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I felt inadequate. I just felt I couldn't do it. I didn't feel good enough. I felt inadequate. I felt inadequate. What they said to me made me feel inadequate. What they said to me made me feel inadequate. How they looked at me made me feel not good enough. How they looked at me. How they looked at me. What they said to me. How I felt. I didn't feel good enough. 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 So another deep breath, big breath, see how you're going. Okay, Rose obviously had a time yesterday where she didn't feel great at work. So it was a 10. So hopefully, Rose, that's coming down a little bit now. So I want everyone to think about that moment they didn't feel good enough. We've tapped on that. So hopefully that's come down a little bit. If it hasn't, then, you know, like definitely write some phrases down, see what else is popping up, and we'll just keep tapping on through. I didn't feel good enough. When I was young, my mum made me feel worthless. My mum made me feel worthless. I didn't feel good enough. I was only young. I didn't feel good enough. What they said to me. How they made me feel. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I felt rejected. I felt rejected. I felt rejected. I felt inadequate. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. Oh, these memories that have cropped up. I don't feel good enough. I don't feel good enough. I wasn't good enough. Just felt useless. I felt useless. I felt rejected. What she said to me. What she said to me. How I felt. I just felt rejected. I felt inadequate. I felt like everyone was looking at me. Everyone was looking at me. I never felt good enough. I've never felt good enough. Didn't feel good enough. What they said to me, they made me feel really little and small. They made me want to hide. Didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I wanted to do better. I wanted to be noticed. I felt inadequate. I really wanted to do it well. I really wanted to do a good job. I tried. I really tried. I just wasn't good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. So deep breath, everyone. Hoping that that's all. Anyone has any feedback? How are we doing? Are we reducing that? Hopefully for those of you that started out at like 10s, you know, that we're coming down now. And again, any phrases that have popped up, I've kind of just pulled a lot of things in there. So if any of those really resonated with you, that's what you want to focus on. So, you know, if I've said made me feel inadequate, that's where you want to go. So just keep repeating that. You don't have to repeat the words I'm using. Just use those, you know, that phrase that really resonates with you, use that one. Right, so I'm assuming we're hopefully coming down. So think back to that initial event moment where you didn't feel good enough. Jot down where you are now. So hopefully, any feedback? Anyone? Are we coming down? Anyone online? So hopefully that's a good sign. So we'll just keep going for another couple of rounds, see what crops up again. And again, as I said, I'm just throwing lots of different events where you might not feel good enough. Use the one that works for you. Okay? So not feeling good enough. And I keep feeling that way. Just not feeling good enough. I keep feeling not good enough. I just don't feel good enough. Just don't feel good enough. I never feel good enough now. It just triggered in me that it was awful. I felt inadequate. What my mum said to me, what my dad said to me, what my boyfriend said to me, what my teacher said to me. I just felt inadequate. I felt I couldn't do it. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't good enough. I just wasn't good enough. Just remember, I felt rejected. I felt rejected. I felt rejected. Just not good enough. Just wasn't good enough. I felt excluded. I felt rejected. I felt stupid. I felt stupid. People were looking at me. I really wanted to do well, but I just wasn't good enough. I tried and I wasn't good enough. It's not fair. I tried really hard, but it still wasn't good enough. I tried really hard. I felt rejected. They made me feel so little and small. They made me feel so little and small. I didn't feel good enough. I didn't feel good enough. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. I felt so rejected. So unimportant. Just so unimportant. I just felt worthless. So unimportant. Just worthless. I felt worthless. Just not good enough. I felt worthless. So my hair. I felt worthless. I felt worthless. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. Just not good enough. Okay, big breath, everyone. Just sort of focus back in on yourself. I'm just going to take a quick drink. If anyone else feels they need a quick drink. Okay, I hope you're jotting down. I want you to think back at that original event or moment that you didn't feel good enough, but you wrote down at the start. Has it come down? Hopefully it has by now. Who was it, Rose? You were at 10 at work yesterday. Hopefully now that's come back down for you. Just drop a message in, let me know. That'd be great. Really love to know. Has anything else come up for you? Hopefully you've written that down. You need to remember that, you know, a lot of the time you're listening to your inner critic. That's the other thing. You might see me just doing this as we're talking. I'm talking to you. Feel free just to tap along. I will often just use this point as I'm talking. Feel free to do that yourself as well. Or the point that you like. Sorry, my computer's shaking. Or the point you like. This is another one I really like. So sometimes I'll do this, but this one's a bit more inconspicuous. So I will do this one a lot. You know, so what we also tend to find is once there's one occasion where you don't feel good enough, the next time something similar props up, you've already told yourself you're not good enough. So you listen to that little inner critic that you have that is trying to not make life awkward for you, but, you know, our brain just tries to, like, compartmentalize everything. So suddenly every time you go to public speak, you're not going to feel good enough. You know, do you know what I mean? It's a bit like Facebook and Google. When you search for something, suddenly everywhere on Facebook you will see whatever it is you've just Googled. So your brain kind of does that too. It kind of goes and grabs all this stuff, you know, that it can compartmentalize together and file away together. So we don't always want to do that. We want to rewire ourselves so that we do feel like we can do things and that we are good enough. So I'm just scrolling down to see if there's any comments. So we want to rewire, and we need to remember that we have an inner critic, which, you know, we tend to listen to a lot, particularly women. I mean, that might be generalised, but every female I know tends to listen to the little inner critic far more than all the men I know. What I want you to try and remember is there is a little inner mentor. So you've got the little inner critic saying nasty stuff, or not nasty stuff, but, you know, like having a bit of a go, as we would say here in Australia. But there's an inner mentor that's just sitting there waiting to help you out. She's probably a bit quieter than your inner critic, but you need to, like, give her a voice and think about what she would tell you. So, you know, maybe imagine that you're your own best friend, which hopefully you are, and that you can, what would you say to someone else that was in your position? You know, be kinder to yourself. That's what we want. All right, so hopefully everyone's come down. Their levels have come down a bit now. So we're going to start to try and rewire ourselves a little bit, and we'll keep going. So, yes, any comments, please throw them my way and we'll see what we can. But more than happy as well to do a little bit of, like, inner critic, inner mentor. I love inner mentor idea. Yeah, that Tara Moore, I got that from her book. Great book, by the way. Anyway, so we need to now sort of get out, rewire ourselves. So hopefully your levels on not feeling good enough have come down. So now we're going to start to rewire ourselves to get into feeling we are good enough. Okay, that event, that time I didn't feel good enough. I wanted to feel good enough. I really wanted to feel good enough. Why can't I feel good enough? What's stopping me from feeling good enough? That one little event changed everything. Changed how I felt about myself. I saw myself differently. I didn't feel good enough. I just didn't feel good enough. It's really unfair. That one event, that one time, just changed how I felt. It made me feel inadequate. Made me feel rejected. Made me insecure. I just felt insecure. Sometimes I'm fine. Other times these thoughts just pop up. Usually when I'm trying to do something really well, that little voice tells me I'm not good enough. She tells me I'm not good enough. Sometimes I wish she'd just be a bit quieter. Wish she just wouldn't say anything. It made me lose confidence. So I just felt rejected. I felt I'd lost confidence. I felt inadequate. But I want to feel better. I don't want to feel like that. Why did I become insecure? It was really only that one time. And then I started to think about other times. And I started just to remember everything at once. But there has been times when I felt secure. There has been times I felt good enough. There has been times I felt confident. I want to feel good enough. I really want to feel good enough. Okay, hopefully you're all starting to feel a little bit better. Was there anything that cropped up for anyone? Again, feel free to jot something down. Why? And sometimes you hang on to things because it becomes part of your personality. For instance, I am really good at being the ex-wife martyr. So, I try really hard to get over that and not use that as my part of my persona, but it's there. And yeah, it's my work in progress. So does not feeling good enough give you attention, and that therefore makes it harder for you to get rid of that feeling and become confident. Sometimes the bad things you hang on to give you a positive somewhere along the line. Does that make sense? Like, are we hopefully that does make sense. So what is there something that are you hiding behind that? Are you hiding behind that so that you don't have to go out and speak in public? Are you hiding behind that because you are scared you get noticed? Whereas if you're not good enough, you can cruise along and no one expects too much from you. So, have a quick think about that. Is there some reason that you want to hold on to that feeling of not good enough? And I know that most people would automatically go, no. But, there are sometimes reasons. And we're human. Like I said, I hang on to the ex-wife martyr a little bit more than I should. Yeah. So have a quick think about that. Jot anything down. Try and be, you're the only person that's going to see this. So just try and be really honest and truthful with yourself, because that's the only way you will turn these feelings around, is to actually be, pretty brutally honest with yourself. And like I said, some of this stuff might not come to you now. It might be 2 a.m., those lovely 2 a.m. wake up. So, keep your pen and paper next to your bed, because then at least you get it out of your head and onto a bit of paper and back to sleep. And then you can start to work on this again further down the track. Okay, we're all still there. We're all hanging in there. We're all going well. Lovely. Okay, so we will keep on that track of asking why we became insecure and why we didn't feel good enough, in the hope that it does bring something up. So when it brings something up, jot it down. Okay. Why did I become insecure? What was it? Am I holding on to this? But I want to feel good enough. I'm tired of not feeling good enough. It makes me tired. I want people to be proud of me. I want my family to be proud of me. I want to feel good enough. I don't want these people to have power over me anymore. You know, years later, I still don't feel good enough. Why should they have that control over me? Why should I give them that power? I want to feel good enough. It's time for me to feel differently. I don't want them to have control over me. I want to have control over myself. I want to have control over myself. I want to feel good enough. I want to feel strong. I want to move on. I'm not sure how, but I really want to move on. I'm not sure how I'll do it, but I'm going to try. Just wanting to is a good step. Wanting to move on. Wanting to regain power. Wanting to regain control. Wanting to make my own choices. I want to make my own choices. I want to feel like I belong. I want to belong. I want to belong. So big breath in, big breath out. Just close your eyes for a couple of seconds. How are we all feeling? Are we, anyone, comments, anyone feeling better, hopefully? Should be feeling better by now, or starting to at least feel the turnaround. And like I said, just acknowledging that you want to change is really a big step. So we'll just keep going, see how we go. I don't know how to let it go, but I want to let it go. I want to let it go. Not sure how, but I'm going to try. I'm not sure how. No idea, really. I just know it's time. It's time to let it go. It's time to feel good. It's time to be in control. It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to step up. It's time to change. It's time to change. Don't know how. No idea, really. But I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to tap it away. I'm going to keep trying, because that's the first step. I want to change. I want to let it go. Going to let it. Going to let it go. Going to let it go. Going to let it go. Those events don't define me. That event doesn't define me. That event doesn't define me. I'm more than that. I'm more than that. I'm more than that. It's time to change. It's time to grow. It's time to let go. It's time to be me. It's time to be me. I'm choosing to let go. I'm choosing to let go. I'm choosing to let go. All right, how's that feeling? Anyone, any feedback? hopefully you're all starting to feel like you can make a difference to your own life, you know, that you can do stuff, that you can listen to yourself and feel confident, and you know, you have amazing abilities. All of us do. We've all got, you know, none of us are perfect, but then, you know, like, there is no perfection in humanity, is there? So, you know, we are who we are. So you can be a better you can be a stronger you, but yeah, you know, it's time to just let it go. Time to let it go. All right, we'll keep going on a bit of that. No one's got anything to say. No one has nothing coming up. Again, if something's coming up, jot it onto your bit of paper, send me a PM later on. We can have a chat about it. We will continue. We will see how we're going and see what the outcome is. I choose to be free. 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 I'm choosing to let go the past. I'm choosing to let go the past. I don't have to forgive, but I'm choosing to let it go. It's not going to define me anymore. It's not going to define me anymore. It's not going to define me anymore. It's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. It's time to let it go. It's time to make my own choices. It's time to be free. It's time to be free. It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to change. It's time to change. I'm scared to change. I'm a little bit scared, but I think it's safe. It's safe to feel. I feel safe. It's safe to change. It's safe to let it go. 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 It's okay 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 to be me. I am me. I am me. It's safe to let it go. It's safe to let it go. I'm choosing to be free. I'm choosing to be free. So big breaths in and out. How are we all going? Hopefully everyone's jotting some notes down, or having something really great happening to them, feeling lighter, feeling capable, feeling good. So yeah, if anyone would like to share anything, feel free to let me know how you're all going. So now we're going to sort of move into like some really positive stuff. So I really want you guys, this is where I really want some feedback. Throw some words out. Love to see them on the screen, and we will use your words. So, you know, even if you feel it doesn't apply to you, but might apply to someone else. Because sometimes we don't like to tell ourselves that we're amazing, but we're happy to tell other people they're amazing. So, but we're all going to share our words. So, you know, feel free. Definitely throw those words in there. I probably tend to use the words that work for me, but more than happy to expand my vocabulary on this. So, yes, please type something in, some positive words I can use. Okay, here we go. We'll start with my favourite. I am amazing. I am amazing. I really am amazing. I'm great. I'm a really great person. I am amazing. I am amazing. I'm pretty tough. I am tough. I am tough. I'm tough. I'm tough. I'm amazing. I'm tough. But I'm also gentle. I'm gentle. I'm calm. I'm gentle. I'm calm. I'm capable. And I'm strong. I'm strong emotionally. I'm strong emotionally. I'm nice and strong. I'm amazing. I'm a great friend. I'm a great friend. I'm amazing. I'm capable. I'm brilliant. I'm clever. I'm really clever. I'm really clever. I'm really clever. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong. I believe in myself. I believe in myself. I believe I can. I believe I can change. Might take time, but I can. I can start to change. I can start to change. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I'm amazing. Just turning up tonight means I want to change. I'm putting myself out there. I'm trying something new. I'm trying this. I'm amazing. I'm open-minded. I can change. I'm open-minded. I'm a good friend. I am amazing. I am amazing. I am amazing. I am strong. I am strong. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. I am centered. I am safe. I'm amazing. I am safe. I'm amazing. I'm safe. I'm amazing. I'm safe. I'm amazing. So how is everyone? Hopefully you're all doing well. Oh, good. Relaxed. Everyone seems more relaxed. Some comments. That is great. Relaxed is brilliant. You know, you can't do anything when you're so stressed that you can't function. So relaxed. Good. Is anything coming up for everyone? Hopefully everyone's now feeling relaxed, positive, lighter. I always feel a bit lighter. I never quite knew that was a word until I started tapping. At the end of most sessions now, I just feel lighter. You may find, you sleep really well. You may find the opposite. So hopefully it all kind of works for you. If you, I suppose and I guess we're at the end of the tapping now, so I'm just going to chat for a couple of minutes before we sign off. It's really easy to avoid thinking too deeply about things yourself and avoiding topics. I know, I'm a prime example, and it's really easy. If you're finding that, so if you're finding it doesn't clear and it pops back up again, it probably means there's more going on and that you're kind of brushing over it so that you don't have to deal with it, which is completely normal. No one likes to put themselves in a position where they're going to feel sort of pain and anxiety. So, don't feel you're the only one. If that's the case, then probably a one-on-one session, a couple of one-on-one sessions would really help you out. Feel free to contact me if you feel like you wouldn't gel with me. I have obviously quite a few other friends who are coaches and tapping practitioners, so that I can point you in the right direction as well. And depending on where you live, you might want like actual physical face-to-face rather than online. I find online works really well. We have a camera, we have connection, you're comfortable in your own space. So you haven't got that sort of stress of getting somewhere and trying to, find a new space and find a car spot and where do you end up. So you're already in a nice, relaxed, safe space, which is really important for this sort of stuff. If you're out and about and something crops up and you want to tap, you obviously can, I do sometimes sit in the car and do this. Sometimes in the car I'll do rounds. A round is sort of from here, to here, back to the head is a round. So it's almost like a question mark sort of thing. That's considered a round, is all the points on that question mark. That's one round. Usually you want to do 2 or 3 on the topic, and hopefully, it's coming down. A session with a practitioner is probably going to take anywhere between half an hour to an hour. By yourself, just to get calm quickly and deal with whatever it is in that moment, really you only need a couple of minutes. And then you can go and deal with it, whatever it is, fully later when you're home or when you've got space and you feel able to. But what you'll find is that you can tap here, like I was saying before, and we were talking and I was just automatically doing this. This is a really nice spot, that sort of nice collarbone spot. People just think you're nervous, maybe, or I have heard Lorna say before, she's been known to do it on a train with her earphones in, and people think you're tapping along to some music. So, there's those options. If you feel you need to reduce some stress and anxiety quickly, for example, today in the waiting room at the dentist, I was doing this quite a bit. So, those sort of things are there for you to help yourself. So feel free to do that. Basically, that's probably all I've got to say. Please pop onto my Facebook page, which I was going to, let me just see if I can, sorry, like I said, new software. Oh, it's not going to let me put that on the screen, I don't think. I do have no, it's not going to let me. Sorry. I do have a Facebook page called DM Transformational Coach. I'll pop it into the comments on here. Pop onto my Facebook page. Love to have you there. Love to grow my own community with people who are really interested. I sort of don't post huge amounts, but I try to post things that mean things to me. And like I said, I'm really into, at the moment, my thing is happiness, confidence, resilience, and tapping. So definitely pop some comments on there. Send me some messages on some topics you'd like to cover over the next 3 months. Something specific, something generic, probably next week we might do some anxiety stuff again, because I've got to go back to the dentist for a filling on Wednesday. So we might do that Tuesday night as a benefit for me. Anyway, loved having you all here. Really appreciate you all coming in and listening. Thanks. Really, really happy to be here and have my first night. And hopefully it went well. Again, love some feedback on the video quality. I live in a very rural area that has satellite internet. And this is the first time I've used this software to do the live. So hopefully that worked well. Yes, I love some feedback on that. Otherwise, I'll just go somewhere else and do my lives from there. Thanks all. Signing off now. Feel free to comment and send me some posts Really appreciate you all coming along. Mwah.